Good morning. Okay. So, like I said yesterday, I am going to give you some background information to help increase the understanding of the Odyssey, which is our book we're going to start. And that little bit of history is the Trojan War, which is not a small amount of time. The Trojan War lasts for about 10 years, which I'm going to attempt to condense in like a page and a half of notes. Not even. You in no way have to have this memorized. This is just for you guys to help better understand our story. I am going to post this video along with the note sheet that I am reading off of right now. When I post the note sheet, please know this is not a formal note sheet. I started writing it as I was researching because I have to research this as I go. And I essentially wrote down all my little inner thoughts. So when you guys read this, you're gonna hopefully get the sense that you're just right back in class and you're gonna get my snarky little comments interjected like you normally would if we were in school. Okay, so the Trojan War. Troy, which is now known as Hisarlik, Turkey, probably didn't pronounce that right, fell in 1184 BC. So it was a long time ago. So you've got Troy, and then you have Sparta in Greece. Those are our two major players here, Troy and Greece. So over in the Troy area, you have King Priam. He is in charge of Troy, and he has a whole bunch of sons, one of which, his name is Paris. Paris, and this is where the whole problem arises and the war starts. Paris ends up eloping, which means running away and getting married, to a woman named Helen. Obviously, that's going to cause some family drama, but more than that, this woman is married to none other than the king of Sparta. So King Menelaus was married to this woman who ran away. And remember, Sparta is a place in Greece, which was portrayed in the movie 300 with Gerard Butler. Spartans were warriors. That was what they were trained to do from birth. So to run off with the wife of the king of Sparta, probably not the best life choice that young Paris could make. But so they run off. Menelaus's men decide that they want to join him in a quest, always a Greek quest, to get Helen back. So then enters this man named Agamemnon. Agamemnon is on the Greek side. He is Menelaus's brother and becomes the commander-in-chief of the Greek army. So then, as they're trying to get this army together and prepare to set sail to Troy, another man named Palamedes is sent by Agamemnon, the commander-in-chief, and King Menelaus to go persuade Odysseus. Odysseus is the main character in our story. So he is sent to persuade Odysseus to come join the army. Odysseus does not want to fight in a war. No Greek war is short, which Odysseus knows, and he has just had a baby, a son, with his wife, and he's like, I don't want to go to war. I don't want to leave my wife, and I don't want to leave my baby. Very understandable. Feel like we can all attest to that. But he is in charge of a settlement in Greece, and because of that responsibility and power, he is expected to join any kind of crusade or quest that the Greeks go on. So he gets taken, and he joins the army. Okay, so it takes about 2 years for the Greek army to prepare to set sail. But once they finally do, it probably takes them a good amount of time to travel from Sparta to Greece, or from Sparta to Troy. Travel back then is not like travel now, where it could take us a day or two to get to the other side of the world. It takes these guys, because they're on a boat, it takes them months on end to do it, if not a year or two. So they set sail and they get to Troy. The battle begins and lasts for 9 years, but then in the 10th year, they're still in like a stalemate. They just keep fighting and fighting, and no one seems to be making any headway to winning. They just keep evening out. So in the 10th year, on the Greek side, so the Greek prince Achilles, I'm sure you've heard of the saying Achilles' heel. That's this dude. That's where that saying comes from. So Achilles, on the Greek side, killed Hector on the Trojan side. Hector is another son of King Priam. So now Achilles, Greek, has killed Hector, prince of Troy, on the Trojan side. This then angers another one of Priam's sons, Paris. Remember the dude who eloped with Helen? So he's mad that his brother's been killed, and he's like, I will avenge you. So Prince Paris, on the Trojan side, now kills Achilles on the Greek side. So we're still just getting this evening out. Like, no one is inching towards victory. They take one step forward, and then they both take one step back because someone gets killed. Okay. So the Greeks realized that they would not be able to defeat the Trojans without a better weapon. So they decide that they need Hercules' bow and arrows. Hercules, I'm pretty sure we all know who he is. So they need his bow and arrows. But those things belong to a man named Philoctetes. He's on the Greek side too. Philoctetes, if you've ever seen the Hercules that Disney made, is a satyr, which is a half man, half goat. Okay. However, Philoctetes in real life is just a whole man. No part animal. So Philoctetes is the one who has Hercules' bow and arrows. Great. But the Greek army ended up leaving him on the island of Lemnos because he got hurt and he just kept whining. And his whining was unbearable to the other men in the Greek army. So they're like, peace out! And they left him. But now they need him. Karma. So now Odysseus, our dude from our book, and Achilles' son, remember, Greek prince who got killed by the Trojan prince. So him and Achilles' son have to go to Lemnos and pick up Philoctetes in order to use the weapons. So they do that, bring him back. So once they're back in Troy, Philoctetes, again, real man, not part goat, uses the bow and arrows and kills Paris. Paris is the dude who started this entire war by marrying a married woman. So he's dead now. Even with his death, the Greeks still cannot take down the Trojan citadel, which is essentially the main part of the Trojan Empire. That's where, it's like the core. They can't get into it still. So now we have two princes of the Trojan territory dead, and they still, the Greeks still can't get in. So the Greeks then steal a statue with Helen's help. Remember, Helen is the woman who eloped. She just wants to go home. She's tired of all the war and the drama, and she's like, I just want to go back to my husband. Girl, you should have thought of that first before running away and getting married for a second time while you're already married. You would have completely avoided an entire war and innocent lives. Women. Okay. So the Greeks steal a statue with Helen's help, but still, nothing. They still can't win because they had thought that the statue was going to, give them a one-up on the war. It didn't do anything. They're still at a stalemate. And now here comes the part that you may know. Allegedly, which means people are saying it, but it's not proven true. At Odysseus is our character. At Odysseus' suggestion, the Greeks build a huge wooden horse, the Trojan Horse, which they pretend to use as an offering to the goddess Athena. Athena is the goddess of... Hold on, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Justice and learning. Athena. Okay, so they pretend to use the Trojan wooden horse as an offering to the goddess. and they leave it outside the gates of Troy. The horse was actually filled with the Greek army soldiers. So the Trojans take the horse into the city, and under the cover of night, the Greeks then come out of the horse, open the gates, let the rest of the armies in, set fire to Troy, and kill many of its citizens. Okay, so now the Greeks have won the Battle of Troy by using this horse. That's the part you've probably heard of. Okay, you would think that's where this ends. It's not. There's more! So this fire and the attack in the main citadel kills the king. So now the king of Troy is dead, Prince Hector is dead, and Prince Priam is dead. So their entire royal family has been decimated and taken out. Again, still not done. So along with the sons, King Priam also had a daughter, Princess Cassandra. Now, during the Trojan War, the Greeks did not treat Princess Cassandra with the respect that a woman of her stature deserved, and they did some not great things to her. Because of this, the goddess Athena becomes very, very angry and is like, all right, Greeks, I just helped you win this war, and then you do something to a woman that you should not have done. Take this. So now she is going to punish the Greek army by making it extremely hard for them to get home. So they've won this battle, they're trying to get home. The goddess is like, have fun. I am now going to use all of my power and the power of the other gods and goddesses to make your trip home miserable. May the odds be ever in your favor. So that leads us into the Odyssey, because the Odyssey tells of Odysseus's journey from Troy back home to Greece to his wife and son. And that leads us to our book. Okay, the end. So like I said, I will be posting this video and the notes to Google Classroom. Just watch it and try and learn a little bit. There's no assignment that goes along with it. Tomorrow, during our Google Classroom, we're going to be going over conflict and all of the different types of conflict. And this story is actually so good to be applying conflict to, because there's so much of it and there's so many different types. So I'm geeking out and I'm so excited for what we're going to find out. Okay, and that's it. Bye!